bacon. I'm feeling the feel, I ain't stealing, I'm taking. I got a non-dairy creamer in my jeans. I'm happy to see you, if you know what I mean. Let's get it on.
Hey freaks, welcome to Vegan Freak Radio. Podcasting without pants from home, here's Bob and Jenna.
Hello everyone out there in Vegan Freaky Land. It's Jenna, and it's the 7th of November. Say hi.
Hi.
Poor Bob has a cold.
Yeah, I have a cold. I'm not feeling real up for talking right now.
Yeah, so I guess I'm going to have to do most of the talking. Huh?
You are going to have to do most of the talking.
Okay, so you get to hear my lovely voice throughout the entire time.
I can talk.
Yeah, poor Bob. I feel so bad.
No, it's not bad. It's not a really bad cold. It's
That's
just a
good.
cold. I know. It's from being around those goddamn biohazardous students.
I know. It's amazing to watch things spread in the dorms. It's just disgusting.
You know, and I'm like Lady Macbeth, constantly washing my hands.
I know.
And I have that little bottle of the sanitizing gel and all that shit, and I still get sick.
Yeah.
Dirt balls.
They are. They're disgusting.
They are. They're really gross.
Yeah.
And they come up and they like cough on their hands, like, Professor Torres, here's my paper. Oh, gee, thanks.
Yeah. So that's what we said. If the bird flu ever does hit and passes among humans, then we're definitely not going to work.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
So.
Well, anyway.
But anyway, okay.
Enough whining about me.
Yeah. So, okay, this week we have some shout outs as usual. And then we're going to just talk about some miscellaneous things, really. Some things about a radio show we did. So our annoying cafeteria at school trying to serve meat and labeling it vegan. Talking about vegan athletes a little bit. Another segment in our If You're Not Quite Vegan Yet. Then we'll do some voicemails. We got a lot of voicemails this week.
A whole
Thank
bunch.
you. Yeah. We got some good music. And then we have, for the second half of our show, we have a nice interview with Chad Miller from Food Fight Grocery.
Mm-hmm. We got Chad on the line yesterday, and we grilled him, man. We grilled him like Satan.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was quite early in Portland, so he was not quite awake yet. But he did very well for not being quite awake.
Are you trying to say Chad was nappy?
I don't know if he was. We're on the phone, so.
True, you could never even tell.
I know.
So yeah, let's get going.
Okay. So first we need to thank people who donated to our podcast. Thank you so much to Lauren Gosler, Lindsay Timmerman, who, by the way, also helped us edit our book, and she did a wonderful job. We have to thank her again for that.
And we have an anonymous donation, but someone wanted us to mention Viva UK in place of their name. So you should go check out Viva's website. They've got all kinds of good things going on there, and we really appreciate the donations. They help us a lot.
Yeah. So we'll put a link up to Viva website. They have a lot of good information, so you should really check it out.
And to the donators out there, we're still waiting on our buttons to come in. When our buttons come in, we will hook you up with the promised goods. We swear.
Yes.
So we haven't forgotten about you.
No, we haven't.
But patience is a virtue.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So is that it for all the shout-outs? I think that's it.
I guess so. Is
Yeah.
that all we have?
I'm pretty sure.
Well, then that's it.
Okay. Right. So 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago it was snowing, and now I'm like sitting around in a t-shirt.
It's like 60 degrees here, 65.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Anyway, 2 weeks ago, right before we did our talk at the Boston Food Fair, we did an interview with Verato on his radio show, which is kind of funny.
I keep waiting for this. We're supposed to get a CD of it, and if we do, we want to play you segments of the show because it was kind of funny to be on the show. But before we got on the show, Verato got on the phone with us, and he said, now listen, we don't have any delay in the show, and I want to keep my radio show, and every single curse word is $500,000. So he said, get out of your system now. Fuck, dick, shit, fuck, on and over. He's going on and on. And so think about it, right? Just do this as a little example. Don't think of an elephant. What are you thinking of right now? Yeah, you see, you're thinking of an elephant. Well, he tells me, don't think of cursing, and what do I think? Fuck, constantly, right? So it scared me a little bit. So I had to write on the notepad I had in front of me really big, do not curse, you fucking idiot. I wrote it on my note. Yeah.
Yeah, so, if he hadn't said anything, I wouldn't even thought about it, because I know you're not supposed to curse on the radio, so.
Yeah, when we were on Animal Voices, though, it was hard for me. I was getting ready to curse, but then it made me so happy to hear Lauren, the host, go asshole. I was like, yeah, cool. But anyway, so we weren't supposed to curse on the show, and we didn't, fortunately. But we were thinking about what Veghead said there were a lot of curses on the last show. I don't even notice anymore. We were thinking at $500,000 a curse, man. Wow.
We'd be, screwed.
Yeah, we would be totally screwed. That's like the gross. If we were to go through an entire show and count up every curse and it's $500,000, that would be like the gross domestic product of a third world country.
Yep.
Probably.
So this is the beauty of DIY indie kind of media, because we can curse.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And we don't have to worry about the FCC yet.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sure they'll try to get their grubby little hands on it.
I'm sure they will. Are you kidding me? The Bush administration will try very hard to get its hands on podcasting, at least to limit it, because, well, right now it's quite free, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think their first target is probably going to be satellite radio, so we can curse there.
Yeah. So anyway, we were on the Verato show. It was kind of fun, and one of the things that came up on the Verato show that we run into every so often is this idea that, well, you know, I ate an animal, but I was paying respect to its soul while I ate it.
Yeah. That they... yeah, I really prayed for their soul, and I sort of, very respected it, but then ate it.
But yeah, I mean, is that right? Like, what if I were to kill a human being and eat them? But, no problem. I paid respect to the soul of the human. It's okay. It's all right. I could tell the police, don't worry about it. Don't come arrest me. I paid respect to the soul of the human being.
Yeah.
I did a little incantation over it and said some kind of magical juju. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. That also came up with Stuart, the caller who called in during the show. Thank you, Stuart, by the way, if you're listening to this. And he brought up the same point. Now, not on the show, but later on, he kind of was like, there's a lot of that going around down there. Who's kind of people that call in. So
I've actually, though, this is the one thing I've noticed with a lot of people who've spent time in India. And I don't want to generalize, but I've had 2 or 3 people I know that have kind of used these arguments about respecting the spirit of the soul of the animal and all that other crap to justify the consumption of animals. I mean, it's like, I don't know, I guess they feel like the Beatles. They go to South Asia and have their little revelatory experience with some guru somewhere and come back and suddenly they're changed. Well, wonderful. But, what about respecting the soul of the animal by not eating the animal?
Makes sense to me. And a lot of other, traditions do that. That's why they don't.
Yeah, I don't.
Eat the animal.
I don't really get this. I mean, to me it sounds like some, I don't know, new agey kind of hippie. I'm going to stop. Okay. I don't want to offend people. But, I just get really annoyed by that kind of argument because you could use that to justify almost any kind of wrong in the world. It's like, well, I killed it, but I felt bad about killing it. It's like, come on. This isn't a necessity. Were it a necessity, were it a situation where you had no other choice, were it, you're on the African savannah and you're being chased by a lion and you must kill that fucking lion to live, fine, I'll buy it, But come on. You're killing an animal and then just respecting it just because you want to eat it? Give me a break. That stuff just annoys me.
Yep, people find new and interesting ways to justify exploiting animals.
Well, of course, that's what we're very good at, finding new and interesting ways to justify the exploitation of animals.
Yep.
But I don't know. I mean, I wonder when people are going to stop finding new and interesting ways to find reasons to keep exploiting animals, because it frustrates me to no end.
Of course. As it should.
Well, damn.
Okay.
Speaking of
frustrating. Yeah. There's like a little vegan group on our campus, and we got this email that we have a listserv. So this person sent this email saying that a bunch of them went to this place to eat dinner, and there was things labeled vegan beef.
Vegan beef strips.
Beef strips. And, it's not so uncommon because they have a lot of fake meat at this place. And
they do.
So you'd think, okay, well, maybe they substituted it. So a bunch of vegans got it on their plates and started eating it and thought it tasted a little weird.
So they gave it to a meat eater to try, and the meat eater said, this is no soy meat. This is a real thing.
Yeah. And so they went up to ask the people who worked there, and like, oh, yeah, it's not vegan.
Oh, no, I can't believe it was labeled that way. That's definitely not vegan. That's real beef. So this is after a couple vegans have already eaten it.
Yeah.
And you know what the school has done? Absolutely nothing.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, I think were it a religious thing or were it an allergy thing, things would have been done. But suddenly, because it's someone's ethical choice not to consume meat, who gives a shit, right? That's what the school's like. I mean, this is the same school that a couple weeks before, when I was there having lunch with a friend of mine, the vulgar vegan or the smoking vegan or whatever you want to call him, they told me that pasta Alfredo, with the white cream sauce, they told me that was vegan. And I looked at them and said, there's no way. That's not vegan. Does it have milk in it? Yeah, it has milk in it. Oh, so it has milk in it, but it's vegan. What the fuck?
Yeah, and this is after repeated complaints and explanations of what vegan means. And it's just amazing how people will, don't care or don't want to try or
but some people say that they're trying.
Well, I think the vegan beef might have even been malicious. I wonder.
That could be. I mean, it seems that way. How else would that happen? That's such a big mix-up.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
It's disgusting.
So if anybody has any good ways, if you've dealt with this at your university or at a similar institution, let us know.
I think we should sue.
That would be a possibility. There's got to be somebody around here whose dad or mom is a lawyer.
I'm kidding. I would never ever suggest really suing my employer in case they're listening.
Yeah, good point. But anyway, I mean, like if you had an allergy and you ate something that was labeled incorrectly, you could definitely sue.
Oh, for sure.
So.
Absolutely.
But anyway.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. Every time we try to get them to label things, they just are resistant to it, and I don't understand why. How hard would it be to put a little green V on things that are vegan or vegetarian, and maybe a little green V for vegan, a little red V for vegetarian? I don't fucking know. This isn't what I do for a living, but how hard could it be?
Couldn't be that hard.
It can't be that hard. I don't know. I'm all hepped up on cold medicine, so it's like a stimulant. So I am simultaneously kind of out of it, but also very easily excited because I'm all like, shit. I'm all messed up on hillbilly meth, man. No, isn't that, I don't know. Just a little aside. This is how absurd the drug war is in the United States. The kind of cold medicine I like to take is called Sudafed. For those of you that are out there, it's just pseudoephedrine. Now, places like Walmart and other stores like this will only let you buy like one box of it at a time. And some of them even card you. Like they make you show them identification to buy it. And they'll let you buy one box at a time. Why is this? Because apparently you can make meth out of it if you buy more than, I don't know, a couple boxes. Now, come on. Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah.
It's an over-the-counter medication.
Yeah.
If someone's sitting in a trailer somewhere in Tennessee making meth out of it, who gives a shit? Why should that stop me? Go after the guy making this shit in the trailer. Don't stop at the point of purchase. A legal product is legal to own.
I don't know.
Okay.
As if the drug war has ever made sense here.
That's true. All right, I'm done.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I just think the drug war is really stupid.
It is.
Okay.
But anyway. Right. So, we were going to say something about vegan athletes. We got an email from someone named Liz Karen, and she suggests that we just at least mention the fact that there are a lot of vegan athletes out there. And it's really important to recognize that. And she's right, because there are a lot of misconceptions that you absolutely need more protein, more meat to be an athlete. And it's just not right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she says here that she sent us an email. She said, too often I run into people who can't understand how I get the energy needed for my crazy active life from a plant-based diet. First of all, our society puts too much emphasis on protein. We need much less protein than generally thought. I mean, this is so true. Mm-hmm. Plus, a plant-rich diet helps avoid many of the colon problems regular athletes, especially runners, commonly experience. I can talk about this forever, but I wanted to keep it short, and now my message is too long. But she says simply that, she wants to remind people that you don't have to be some kind of, I don't know. You don't have to be a blood-sucking carnivore to actually be a decent athlete.
No, not at all. And in fact, in the latest Veg News, there's a little snippet about, what's his name? About someone who won the ultra marathon. And this is 135 miles. 100. People are crazy. Scott Jurek, there it is. He ran it in 24 hours and 36 minutes and 8 seconds.
That's hardcore.
Yeah, and it's not just like any 135 miles. It's like from Death Valley, California, up to Mount Whitney, which is California's highest mountain, apparently. And he's a vegan.
Man, that's intense.
So, and apparently during the race, he ate energy bars, potatoes, rice balls, and soy protein drinks.
Rice balls.
So there you go. Ultra marathon. I think this might have been the guy they did an interview a while back in Herbivore, too.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I definitely remember that.
I would imagine it's the same guy, but it's just amazing to me. So
And
Definitely.
Then there's that Brendan triathlete dude.
Yeah,
What's
Brendan
his
Fraser, is that his name?
name? Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, he's got a lot of books. So if you're looking for information, in fact, we'll try and find exact name and maybe put up a link to it if you're looking for more information about being a vegan athlete.
He does some raw food energy bars too.
Yeah, he does. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
They look kind of like poo.
Yeah, they do. Don't most energy bars look like poo?
I think so. Poop or cardboard.
One or the other.
I don't know.
But, so yeah, there you go.
Cool.
Okay.
So I don't know. What else is going on? Did you all hear the little motorized vehicle go by earlier when Jenna was talking? Yeah.
One of many.
One of many motorized vehicles. Oh, you know what else? I wanted to give another shout out to one of our forum members, and she's doing a column on PETA too, but in Germany, and she mentioned us in her column.
Cool.
She's doing. I kind of ran it. I ran it through Babelfish, and in Babelfish it was a very funny translation. So I don't think I was getting the full gist of it, and I don't speak any German. And her name, my German is so shitty, so please forgive me. I know someone's going to call and say, "You dumbass, you said it completely wrong," but. Her name on our forums is Vibke, I assume. I don't really know how to say it, so forgive me, please forgive me if I have said that wrong. But she's doing a column that looks really good, at least from the Babelfish translation I could get. And the shout out that she gave us was pretty funny. It translated by Babelfish. The shout out said, "There is also correct good podcasts, e.g. The Vegan Freaks. Those has also a mad side with many information."
Excellent.
So I said, "Oh yeah, a mad side we do indeed have."
Yes.
So, I imagine that in German it sounds quite a lot better than that.
Yeah, I would hope so.
But anyway, you can go find it. We'll put a link there, and she's got some really nice looking recipes there. And judging by the Babelfish translation, she talks about how she became a vegan and how long she's been a vegan for and things like that. So yeah.
Oh, cool. And she's wearing an herbivore sweatshirt.
And she's wearing an herbivore sweatshirt.
Very cool.
Yeah, so anyway, it looks pretty cool. I wish I spoke German.
Me too.
My German's very limited. It's like beer and the basic numbers.
Yeah, we spent a week in Berlin, and Ein Bier bitte got us pretty far.
Oh yeah, it got me really far, actually.
That and Ich verstehe nicht.
Yeah, so we'll put a link to this for the German speakers out there. And we know there are some of them.
Yep.
We know we've got a few, at least. Can you please tell me how to say your name? Vibke, I don't know. I speak Spanish and English,
Yeah.
and a little bit of Catalan. So that's it, pretty much. And a little bit of Quechua. But, so anyway, unless you are writing to me from one of those languages, I'm screwed. But yeah, so I wanted to say thanks to her for mentioning us, and her column looks great, so go there.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so I think it's time for our If You're Not Quite Vegan Yet segment.
Yeah, this is a new thing we've been doing lately, if you're not quite vegan yet. And we have some ideas we want to introduce to the show. We've got some folks out there who are going to be doing little product reviews and things like that, but they're not done yet. So this is a new thing we're introducing, and we're running with it every week.
Yeah, and it's just a real short one this week. Because, we could go on all about the health hazards of dairy for days.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just the amount of research done on dairy about how bad it is for you is just incredible. So let me just say one little thing about how milk is bad for you, and it's about osteoporosis. This is mostly for the women out there, but of course men are susceptible as well. You might think that milk is supposed to give you strong teeth and bones and all that, but that's wrong.
Uh-oh.
Yes. The PCRM, again, the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, has a little snippet here. It says, milk is touted for preventing osteoporosis, yet clinical research shows otherwise. This one long-term study done with 75,000 women said that increased milk consumption had no effect on fracture risk. In fact, increased intake of calcium from dairy products was associated with a higher fracture risk. And this is because of the protein in milk. As excess protein actually leaches calcium from your bones. Mm-hmm. So soy protein and plant protein does not have this effect. It's animal protein and excess of it. Because plant-based diets tend to have a lower protein level, which we don't need all that much more than like 10% of your diet is protein, then the excess protein that you're getting by drinking cow's milk actually leaches calcium out of your bones and can really harm you later in life.
Absolutely. So it's so contrary. I mean, it's completely in opposition to the kind of crazy propaganda that's out there from the dairy industry that milk will make you strong. Milk will give you strong bones. And you look at those, I don't know if you have these everywhere else in the world, but in the U.S. we've got these milk ads, with everybody with these milk mustaches. They're really disgusting.
They drive me nuts.
They drive me completely insane. And they're usually athletic and or sexy people. So it's made, meant to make you believe that, in fact, well, yes, milk will make me strong, sexy, and athletic. But no. Apparently not.
Nope.
And casein's a problem too, yeah.
Yeah, for other reasons. It causes cancer, type 1 diabetes, and all that. So they suggest that to decrease your risk of osteoporosis, you reduce the amount of I can't talk today, Jesus.
Jesus ain't going to help you.
I know, he's not. You can reduce the amount of animal protein intake in your diet, increase the amount of fruits and vegetables, which we suggest anyway, of course, and you ensure adequate calcium intake from foods as leafy green vegetables. Everybody eat your leafy greens. They're really good for you.
Leafy greens rock.
We mention them like every week because they have everything. Vegetables, beans, and calcium-fortified products such as breakfast cereals and juices.
Breakfast cereal.
So that's it.
I'm hungry.
I know. I was just looking at the photos you had from that German article. They look pretty good.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Yeah.
I'm hungry, though. I need to eat.
Because we didn't have lunch.
Why didn't we have lunch?
Because we had big breakfast.
True.
we had more waffles for breakfast.
We had good Baker waffles. They were really good. They were kick-ass, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So milk is bad.
Yep.
Milk is bad. And, we want to convince you kind of middle-of-the-road people out there, your borderline vegans. We want to convince you to go vegan. Why don't you call us and tell us what it is that's stopping you? And we can address those issues.
Good point.
Because if we can't, one of our listeners can. We've got a vast and really impressive listenership.
We do.
They kick ass.
They do.
They know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They send us good music suggestions.
That too.
And they send us music on occasion.
Mm-hmm.
And they send us ideas.
And voicemails.
So anyway, if you have something that's holding you back, for me, the thing that held me back the longest time was cream in my coffee. It was cream in my coffee, something so fucking stupid at this point that I can't believe I was held up by that. But that was the thing that held me up because I'm completely addicted to coffee. I have no desire to be unaddicted to coffee. I'm completely happy with my addiction. And I think caffeine is great, lovely, and wonderful. And so I couldn't leave the coffee. I couldn't leave the cream in the coffee, but I just got to soy milk. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, so I don't want to repeat myself. But
yeah, and for those of you who think soy milk tastes weird at first, we thought so too. We thought it tasted a little off, but the more you drink it, now it seems completely normal. And in fact, we don't notice any difference now. It is what coffee's supposed to taste like now.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's about that.
Yeah.
So I have another question though, something that isn't on our little sheet of things to do.
Okay.
What do you do when you have friends and the friends start talking to you about the delicious meat they've eaten?
Good question.
Do you nod and go, indeed, that dead flesh sounds lovely to me? What do you do?
Yeah.
Someone's like, I had this great steak. It was thick and juicy and bloody and so raw.
Yeah.
What do you do about that? I usually just nod along and hope it's going to end soon.
Yeah, that's usually what it goes. But it's funny when people do that and they know you're vegan. I mean, sometimes people just do it because that's what they talk about. And if they don't know you're vegan, well, that's understandable. Yeah. But we talked with some friends of ours who know we're vegan and then proceeded to tell us all about these great things that they were eating. And they're like, oh, I guess you won't eat that anymore, will you? I'm like, no, we won't.
I'm never quite sure what to do in those situations. I mean, it's like, to me, it's almost as uncomfortable if someone comes up and goes, I really like to molest children. I really do.
I know.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's wrong?
I know.
I don't know. I'm just a vegan fundamentalist weirdo. I'm just completely crazy.
Yeah, but the funny thing was these friends were also telling us about they had a leather and a suede coat, and about how their cat pissed all over the suede coat, which I thought was pretty funny, actually.
Sweet. You go, cat.
Yeah.
The cat was coming, getting revenge for the cow there. The cat, it's like Animal Kingdom, teaming up.
Yep.
So I thought that was pretty funny.
That was funny.
Ruined the coat, too.
Yep.
Cat piss would definitely ruin a suede coat.
Cat piss ruins pretty much everything.
Oh, cat piss is the worst.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Mary Sue from our forums wondered in an email as to why dogs can clear rooms with their farts, which our dog has been doing again this weekend. It's just amazing. I think every weekend I don't know what we feed him, but...
No, we feed him the dog food he's been eating since he was a puppy.
It was the waffles we gave him for breakfast today.
We did have no, but that was, he smelled this bad yesterday.
Yeah, true.
I don't know why. I don't know why he stinks so bad.
I don't either, but she was also wondering why cats don't clear rooms.
Oh, come on. You used to remember we had that cat Delilah, you picked Delilah up and you used to fart.
Oh, he would fart when you pick him up.
Yeah, see?
But he didn't clear a room. Since cat asses are so much smaller, it just doesn't travel as far.
And the volume of gas that a cat can hold is definitely smaller than the volume of gas that an 80-pound lab can hold.
True. Yeah.
So these are two things to think about.
That's true. Our cat doesn't fart much now, though.
No, I don't usually smell him farting. And he's on my desk a lot, so I don't, Who knows? We are completely off topic.
Yep. And we got lots of voicemails to get to.
Yeah, we do. And we're already 25 minutes in. And we've got an interview that's about 25 minutes long. So we better get to the voicemails.
All right. So we get to play our voicemail ditty now?
Yes, we're going to play the voicemail ditty.
Yay!
Time once again for some vegan freak voicemail. Maybe we'll hear from a hot chick.
Or a choice male.
Callers make us happy and help us keep our sanity. Even if all they want to do is fucking complain about the shit load of profanity.
Okay, so our first voicemail is from Ben Conservato, Emma, who gave us the first half of her voicemail last week and didn't finish it because our machine cut her off, sorry.
Yes, the machine has a 2-minute limit, apparently.
Yes, so we requested on our podcast last week that she and the other person call us back so we can finish the story, because we want to find out what happened.
Yeah, really.
So Ben Conservato was very nice enough, even though it's an international call, to call us back.
And she called us all the way from France and told us these kind of interesting stories. So
Here they are.
Hey, Bob and Jenna. Emma Kidd again. I'm leaving the second part of the voicemail. Even though people have been roasting each other about this whole Omni issue on the forums, I'm going to finish. So you asked about his family. So what they've done to me in the past, they've served me a plate of tomato while they eat a roast, for example, with vegetables that, of course, they cooked with the meat. Or I've been given a plate of plain pasta, that all sticks together. It's great. Or I've also been given a plate of rice in a kiddie's plate with a rabbit on it, and then heard a 5-minute discussion calling me a rabbit. This one was the best one because it actually alienated this particular family member from my husband for about 2 years. They also ask me all the time about cooking vegetables, which is okay, but then they say stupid shit to me like, vegetables can be really interesting. So all I had to say was, to finish, despite it all, and all the fights and the crap that my man and I have been through with his family and him, and that in the end he's very respectful of my choice. And it proved to me when he didn't talk to that person who was actually a very significant member of his family for the 2 years, who was being a dick towards me, that they can be good. The Omnis can be respectful, even though they do like to eat meat. I am trying conversion. It's my next thing to try. So thank you for your podcast. I enjoy it very much, and keep up the good work. Thanks. Bye.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you see, Omnis can be good. I mean, we said last week on the show that we wanted to convert Omni spouses, and that apparently set off a what's the polite way to say it? Shitstorm?
Yeah. It could have been worse on the forums.
Yeah. It kind of got a little heated on the forums for a little while around the Omni, spouse issue. But anyway, man, Emma, it's really cool that your man stood up for you,
Yeah, that's very cool.
And some of the things that his family did are a little fucked up, though. Huh?
I know. That's just sad. That's what I understood about Spain and France, is that they have the most beautiful vegetables that you can buy in the markets, and they're cheap, and yet it's like they consider you weird if you eat them. You know, I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I guess you're supposed to eat them. They're only garnish, basically.
I guess so.
Whatever.
But it's cool, though. I mean, you know, it really shows that Omni spouses can be really supportive if they're willing to put their relationship on the line with somebody, you know, in their family who they're very close to, and willing to actually go and stand up for their spouse.
That is
very
cool.
impressive.
Yeah. But this email also reminded me, there was also in the most recent Veg News, there's a column by Carol Adams about surviving Thanksgiving, basically. And her two, to get that out there, her two suggestions are don't get sucked into debates and bring your own food. But she makes a really good point here in that, talking about Omni family members, they want to believe that you aren't happy, and then they do everything to make you that way. Which is such a good point, because, you know, they're not doing it consciously necessarily, but it sounds like that's what Emma's family, her husband's family, do, because they make her miserable by giving her tomato, to eat, and then not giving her anything else. And a lot of families do that. They're like, oh, well, you can't eat anything, Sorry, I couldn't make anything for you.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So basically, if you get stuck in that situation, either, bring your own food or just smile and, okay, whatever.
Speaking of Thanksgiving, all of you out there should listen in coming around Thanksgiving, because we're going to have on the show Karen Davis from United Poultry Concerns for an hour-long interview special to talk about the beleaguered turkey. So
yes.
That's coming soon. We're talking with her people.
Yes, so we're going to set that up, and it should be really good because
Absolutely.
She's good.
Yeah, she is. She's kick-ass, man. I like that word, kick-ass. Everything's kick-ass.
Yes.
Yep, except for me right now. I'm not kicking much ass.
I need to give you more pseudoephedrine.
Need more pseudoephedrine.
Right.
Drugs.
Okay, our next voicemail is from, who do we have? How about we talk about, since we're talking about Thanksgiving, we'll play Daria's.
Okay, so here's Daria.
Okay.
Hey, wonderful vegan freaks. It's Daria from Toronto. I just wanted to give you guys a call because I am in Syracuse. So I wanted to say hi, and I wanted to tell you that my roommate Ashley has been taping some of your podcasts for me, and you guys are beyond amazing. They're hilarious, they're inspirational, they're funny, they're great, they're everything. So I just want to tell you guys I'm really proud of the work that you do. And as well, hopefully you can make it to Turkey Day, November 19th, because I would love to see you guys again. Okay? Have a great week. Bye-bye.
So that was Daria, who we met in Toronto. She's really cool. We met her and her roommate.
Yeah.
And thanks for the kind words, Daria.
Yeah, it was very cool. And she spread a lot of our vegan-free buttons to the wind.
Absolutely. Scattered them to the wind like seeds.
Yeah.
What she's talking about on the 19th, I believe that there's an event at Farm Sanctuary in New York and in California. And you can go and have a day at Farm Sanctuary and eat a vegan food dinner and all that.
Yeah, and go see the turkeys.
Go see the turkeys.
That you're not going to eat.
Yeah, exactly. And we have a lot of wild turkeys around here, so they're very beautiful animals.
They're so cool. We see them along the side of the road a lot, and they're just like hanging out. They hang out in bunches. And
they're huge.
They're huge birds.
They really are, but they're very pretty.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for them.
Yes.
Because I know it's like around the time that people start going after them.
Yes, it's hunting season.
It is.
Bad.
We'll talk about hunting a little later.
Oh, yeah.
With Chad.
Ah, yes, that's right.
Because he loves hunting accents.
Yes, that's right. Forgot about that. Okay, so our next voicemail then is from Dino. And Dino somehow managed to leave us a 5-minute voicemail. And I'm not sure how he did it.
Dino, I don't know, man. He must have said some special incantation on the line to get the voicemail machine to work for 5 minutes, because it's only supposed to work for 2.
I know. He said it kept cutting it off, but it came out as one file, so I have no idea how he did it. So thanks. So we're going to play that now.
So it's 5 minutes, so hang in there, okay?
Hi, Bob and Jenna. This is Dino from sunny South Florida. I've only been listening since about September or so of this year. When I saw your podcast on the food section, I said, okay, vegan stuff, why don't we download it and why don't we give it a shot? I'm a vegetarian originally from India, turning towards veganism when I'm slowly but surely starting to cut out the animal products from my life and the cruelty products from my life. Leather's got to go, wool's got to go, honey, milk, whatever. Never ate meat. I was raised a vegetarian because of my caste. I'm a Hindu Brahmin, and so that's how we've always been eating all our lives. Couple of comments I just wanted to give you guys. Right after the hurricane last week, there were different organizations that were setting up food kitchens where you can come in and get a hot meal. And because a lot of people were without power, we just got ours back yesterday. So it was crazy for a long time. So they had all these kitchens set up so that you can come in and get some food. First thought in my brain was there will be no way in hell that they're going to have any vegetarian food, much less vegan. So instead of going down myself, there were a couple of my friends that were going, to go get some anyway. Asked them to, just give me a buzz if there was anything that I could eat there. So they gave me a call. We go down there, and their idea of vegetarian food was 3-week-old, limp, disgusting lettuce swimming in a sea of some kind of unnamed dressing, which I'd rather really not think about. So rather than put myself through that, we came home and had some really good organic salad with garbanzo beans and chopped olives and olive oil, lemon juice, all that good stuff. I'll give you that recipe if you ever feel like getting it. Ask me on the next podcast. I'll email it to you guys. A couple of comments about the cow's milk episode. I heard this one saying from a friend, and so it didn't let me finish off my comment. It just interrupted me. Anyway, about the cow's milk. Cow's milk is meant for baby calves, which drink it from the mother, and then eventually grow to be the size of cows. Yeah, that's what she told me, and it really made sense, and it made me laugh like you wouldn't believe for a long time. And the second thing I've noticed is that when you do drink your mother's milk, your first instinct is to go to sleep. You get kind of tired, and it's like the perfect way to put a baby to sleep is to give it its bath and then give it some milk from mom, and then it'll be knocked out in no time flat. Now, if you're wanting to lead a really healthy, active lifestyle, constantly drinking something that's going to be putting you to sleep may not be your best idea. I mean, no shit you're going to be tired all day if you're going to be fucking drinking milk in the morning, at breakfast and the rest of it. Come on now. If you're going to be drinking something that's meant to put a baby calf to sleep, it would be pretty fucking obvious that you're going to be falling even more asleep than that baby cow will. All right. Anyway, I did notice a couple of things that when people say that there's not a lot of vegan food out there that's tasty or interesting to eat, or there's no variety, the first thing that sprung into my mind was international vegan food, such as the Italian food or the Indian food or things like that. I know for a fact where I come from in South India, we have very little dairy or animal products in our diet. It's mostly vegetables and legumes and rice and things like that. And I don't remember a single day in my life when I've ever gone hungry or felt like I don't have enough to eat or I don't have enough energy to go through my day. So it makes absolutely no sense when they say these idiotic things like, oh, yeah, y'all can't eat anything that tastes good or that's worth going after. Second thing is I like to cook, so I do experiment all the time with different ingredients and different stuff like that. I mean, I wouldn't consider myself a foodie in the sense of the term of, all right, so yeah, cut me off again. I don't know quite where I left off. Yes, I do like to experiment with different ingredients, and I do like to play around with different spices and herbs and flavors, cooking techniques, all kinds of stuff like that. So usually when I go in to make something, you're never going to have the same thing twice, because although I know how to make the old stuff, I want to try something new and try something more interesting. All my food has always been very interesting. I remember when I was in high school, my diet was pretty much I'd wake up in the morning and I'd have a fresh bowl of steel-cut oatmeal with, a handful of nuts and a handful of craisins. And, I mean, come on, that kept me going for hours. And then when I'd go to lunch, I'd have a giant salad with all these vegetables and all these juices and other flavorings like that, where my friends would be eating, the cafeteria food, which really didn't look all that great, or these Wonder Bread sandwiches with God knows what in between them, and that didn't look very appetizing either. So I'd be sitting there chomping on my salad, and they'd be drooling. Ha! And I mean, this is what I say to people who tell me that you cannot have an interesting diet if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, because I'm thinking, I eat better than you any day, and you have, quote-unquote, more options. So anyway, I'll stop rambling, and y'all are free to use this message however you please, cut it up, cut it down. It is kind of long. I do understand that. And I really do appreciate you guys for spreading the message, although I personally am not one who does, preach to others unless they specifically ask me, what do I eat or how do I find stuff or things like that. I do appreciate that other people there are able to do it, and I think that you're using this medium in a wonderful way. So I thank you for your show, and I will continue listening. All right, take care, you guys. Bye.
Wow, Dino, what a kick-ass voicemail.
Yeah, that was so incredible. Thank you. You made a lot of good points.
Absolutely, and you do it very concisely, whereas we take an hour to make, a tenth of the points that you make.
True.
But,
so, yes, that's why we wanted to play the whole 5-minute voicemail. So
do I sound smoother now? Does my voice sound more smooth?
I don't know.
I'm back after having taken a demulcent.
Ah.
Yes.
What's a demulcent?
It says soothing. A mucilaginous substance used to soothe irritated or inflamed mucous membranes in the mouth and throat. Thus it says on the back of my slippery elm drops. Mucilaginous. Sorry, we'll get back to Dino.
Yes, but Dino, we want your recipe. That sounded really good.
I'm sitting here rubbing my belly when he was talking about it.
I'm like, ooh.
That sounds really good.
I love olives and salads and chickpeas anyway. So yeah,
you're like an olive addict.
I do. I love olives.
You're an olive freak.
Yes.
You are. But Dino makes some really excellent points. I mean, that, you look at a lot of the vegan food, and it's food that's really good to eat. It's good for you, and you feel better after you eat it. And I find that when I eat food that's healthier, I feel a lot better. I feel a lot... I just feel a little more energetic. I don't feel so weighed down.
Yeah. I mean, I used to, before we became vegan, I used to crash a lot in the afternoon. I felt like I'd have to take a nap. And it might have something to do with also my high coffee consumption, which we've cut back on. But now I don't do that anymore. I mean, I have a little bit of a lull. It's normal for the afternoon after you eat lunch or whatever. But, my energy is a lot more constant than it used to be.
I never have a lull. I am always going, man. I am totally kick-ass all the time, trucking.
Okay.
Not
Unless
really.
you're sick.
Okay, that's not true at all. No, but I think that, Dino made the point that he eats oats in the morning or oatmeal. Oatmeal keeps you going, man, and it's slowly digested, and it provides a good steady stream of carbohydrates in the bloodstream, so it lets you keep going all day long.
Yeah, and he also made a good point about international cuisines that are based on vegetables, and they do exist, and people I think a lot of people don't even realize that they exist when they make the stupid comments like, oh, how can you possibly exist? Of course, people have been doing it for a long time now, in India and other countries whose diet is mostly vegetables.
Absolutely. We eat a lot of Indian food and a lot of Asian food in general, because of the broad variety of things that these cuisines are able to use and do with vegetables. So
yeah,
we love Indian food.
We do. Oh my gosh.
We eat a lot of dal, bitter melon.
Yeah, we had some chole the other night.
Yeah, we eat all kinds of good stuff.
Making me hungry now. Okay, so thanks again for that lovely email. I mean, voicemail, not email. Sorry, voicemail. And now we're just going to play a short snippet from an email that someone named Jeff from Canada sent us.
Hi, Bob and Jenna. This is Jeff calling from Toronto, Canada. I just wanted to let you know a couple of things. First of all, I just came across your podcast recently. I'm fairly new to podcasting. I was a locked-out CBC employee through August and September and some of October, during which time our organization was producing podcasts, and that's what got me interested, and that's how I found your podcast. Being an animal rights advocate and a vegetarian for about 8 years now, I'm very interested in the subject, and I must say I really enjoyed your style.
Thank you so much, Jeff, for the kind words there, and for sending that voicemail.
Jeff definitely had that perfect radio voice.
He did.
Man, so impressive. I need to take some lessons.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I wish someone could tell us a little more about the lockout, though. I don't know a whole lot about what happened there. I mean, I kind of know the rough outlines of it from just kind of Googling around, but...
Yeah, I have no idea. Haven't heard about anything about it here.
Yeah. Well, that's because we're in the Imperial USA and we don't ever think about anywhere outside of the USA.
Nope.
Because is there anywhere outside the USA?
No.
I didn't think so.
No. What the hell are you thinking?
God, no.
I don't know.
Good.
But anyway, last voicemail?
Is this the last one?
No, one more.
One more.
We got lots of voicemails this week, so it's incredible.
One more voicemail.
Yes. So this one comes from Sarah Nicole, and she has some suggestions for something that we could talk about vivisection.
Hi, Bob and Jenna. This is Sarah Nicole from Detroit. I had some questions about vivisection that I was wondering if you or your listeners could comment on. Basically, vivisection is a new topic for me, and I'd sort of like to learn more about it so that I can make a well-informed or form a well-informed opinion about it, rather. I'm wondering what the alternatives to vivisection are, as in if there are computer programs or interactive models that can take the place of animals and that we can, gain the same results from. I'm a vegan, so obviously I don't support the suffering of animals for human profit, but I also don't want to stall scientific progress, if it can be made in areas like curing cancer or other life-threatening diseases. I know one of your listeners commented a couple weeks ago about the AIDS, the research in finding a cure for AIDS being stalled because humans are the only mammals that contract it. And I'm wondering if that's true for other diseases like cancer or nothing else springs to mind, but things along that line. So anyhow, I'd like to hear you talk more about it. It's something that I'm interested in, and I love the show. Keep up the great work.
So I'm going to let you follow up on that one because I see all those papers there in front of you.
Yeah. So, thanks to our listeners, I end up doing a lot of research on topics that I know nothing about, which is really good because then I get to find out about it.
We learn.
Yes, we do.
We learn from our listeners.
Yes, because I had no idea. So I went up again to Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine because they do a lot of different things. They do one section on health and one section on animal experimentation. And basically, they say that, a lot of the cancer research is done on rats. And that rats, the title of the article is Rats Test Results That Don't Apply to Humans. So basically, the gist of their little paper here is that for cancer experiments, rats are not the best source because they are different than humans in important ways. And a lot of it has to do with how vitamins and like vitamin C, vitamin A, beta carotene, are essentially, he says they're essential to cancer research, and yet rats handle these things differently than does people want a dog in our podcast, so there you go. So
this could take a minute.
Yeah.
Molly, come here. Okay, let's go.
Okay.
All right, so we're back after a brief, technical difficulty break?
Yeah.
The dog went completely bonkers because another dog ran by the front of the house, and
yeah, so we couldn't. It was too loud.
It was just way too loud.
We couldn't keep it in. He can sound really mean when he wants to.
He can, but he's not.
No, not at all.
He's a big baby.
He really is. And he just loves people.
He does indeed. So there's more dog on the podcast for you. Don't worry. There it is.
Right.
So where were we?
I was talking about rats.
All right. Go back to the rats.
Rats. The basic gist of all of this is that rats aren't good indicators of how things are going to work in humans because they're too much unlike humans, basically. Okay. So for some alternatives, they are suggesting, besides epidemiological and clinical studies, for various things, which I don't think works for cancer, but for other things, you can do in vitro research, this is interesting. He says the National Disease Research Interchange provides more than 130 kinds of human tissue to scientists investigating more than 50 diseases, including cancer, diabetes, and glaucoma. Cell and tissue cultures are used to screen new therapies and to test for product safety. Genetic microarrays are being used to predict liver toxicity by measuring gene expression in human liver cells. So you can do human testing without the human or without the animals. And for a lot of other things, they say you can use computers to predict the toxicity of chemicals. So for new drugs, they could test. And there's basically, there are a lot of different ways to do things without having to rely on animals.
I also have a book I picked up that's about this. I can't remember the title of it now off the top of my head. I picked it up
long, the title's long.
Sacred Goats, Golden Cow. I don't fucking know. But anyway, I picked the book up in Boston, and I'm going to read it. It's in the queue. I've got like 15 or 20 books in the queue, but I'm going to get to this book eventually, and if I do, I will review it here on the show. But it's supposedly an antidote to these kinds of things.
Yes. So, good.
Yeah.
So thank you for bringing that up.
Right on.
Once again.
267-295-1944. Write the number down on your refrigerator door. Add the 001 country code if you call us from Vienna. That's how you leave a voicemail for good old Bob and Jenna.
So where are we going now, woman?
Music.
We've got a change in pace this week. We know that many of you out there like the hardcore, death metal, punk, etc. edges. But one of the posters on our forum, Anna, who also recommended the theme from previous show, right?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Suggested that we try something a little different for this week, and I thought it was a good thing because we've got some other songs coming along from Drew on our forums, and he's also at the PPK forums. We've got a couple of songs from Drew that we're going to play. We've got some really funny vegetarian rap from Flame Still Burns on our forums. It's going to come down the pike. So we got some stuff coming down the pike, but we thought it'd be fun to change the pace for a little bit this week.
Yeah. So
we've got this song called Vegetarian Restaurant. The group is Aberfeldy, and the album is Young Forever. So here it is.
You recall when he hated me and pretended that he didn't see, and he glanced at a cast in your direction, and you did it for your own protection. Like the way that you shell the peas, only wish you were shelling me. When you're in the kitchen, body's rocking and your moves are bitchin'. Being a wreck, you're the for so long, but you treat me like there's something wrong. When I let you know you're looking lovely, tell me, is it really awful of me? Touch when you're making tea, yeah. Only wish that you'd taken me. Ooh, like springtime takes the winter. The only
Okay, so that was Vegetarian Restaurant by Aberfeldy, and the album is Young Forever, and it was just a change of pace.
Wasn't that such a nice song?
It's a nice song. It's a pleasant song. It is indeed. So, yeah, I know. Some of you out there are like jonesing for your death metal, but we'll get there. We'll get some more crazy shit back in the show.
Yeah, we got to give something for the people who don't like death metal.
That's true. We do have some listeners who probably aren't into, like, death metal.
Yeah, the Cookie Monster sound.
As it was described in our forums.
Yeah.
So, speaking of the forums, you need to come over to the forums if you're not on them yet, because they're getting pretty cool, man. They've always been good, but they're getting really good because we get a lot of people over there. So, come on over to the forums and say hi.
Yep.
Also, one other thing, just kind of random bit of information. We want to give you out there a little incentive to buy our book if you want. Here's a code, PUNKROCKS111. If you use that on our site where you can go buy the book, you'll get 20% off the cover price. That's cheaper than Amazon.
Veganfreak.com.
Veganfreak.com. So if you go buy from there, that's cool. Also, that store is like, it's completely secure. It's completely no worries. I mean, it's like totally above board.
And they do international shipping.
They do. And a lot of options for international shipping. So you can get it expedited, you can get it slow, you can get it whatever you want. So anyway, that's handled for us by Clamor Magazine. So we encourage you to run over there and buy the book. And the important thing is I would encourage you to do this for anybody who's publishing a book. Buy it from them if you can, because they get the best deal that way.
Indeedy.
And also, this book is mostly DIY. We did the whole thing pretty much ourselves except for the cover, which Chad did, who we're going to talk to in a moment. So anyway, there's a little code for 20% off the book if you're interested. One other thing. I got this email the other day from Ryan at VegBlog, and he wrote to me and said, I want to get something on your podcast this week. It's 8 minutes long. I really want to get it in, but I can't have it to you till Monday. On Monday afternoons when I edit the show, we usually record them on Sundays. So here it is Sunday. I have no idea what it is it's going to be about, but I need to leave 8 minutes in the show and introduce this. So I'm introducing it, but I have no idea what it is. So here's Ryan's 8-minute segment. I hope you like it. I hope it makes some sense. I hope it fits into the show fairly well. But knowing Ryan, it's going to be pretty good, you know. And one thing about Ryan, he does the Attic Beats podcast, which you should definitely go listen to. Mm-hmm. Some of the most eclectic music out there. Very good podcast, one of our favorites. So here's Ryan's 8-minute thing.
Hey Bob and Jenna, this is Ryan from vegblog.org. And apologies, first of all, if there's a lot of background noise and this doesn't come out so great. I'm recording this on my little voice recorder as I'm driving for part of my super secret project that nobody in the world is allowed to know about yet. And I've been riding for almost 3 hours straight without a break. My legs are hurting and I'm feeling a little off. So forgive me if these thoughts don't come together perfectly. In any event, during part of this long drive, I just listened to your most recent podcast, which I believe is number 14, and wanted to respond to a couple things in there and contribute a little bit. First of all, the question of gas. As someone who has, let's say, been on medication of prescription strength for stomach issues, granted it was back in college and it was probably more stress and food based than anything. Back then wasn't unusual for me to eat 2 or 3 cheeseburgers from the cafeteria for lunch. No wonder I had stomach issues. But because I've had those issues in the past, and I've found a number of different ways of dealing with them, and since they've lightened up quite a bit, as I'm sure you're happy to hear, the one that I tend to go to now most often is fennel seeds specifically. They're pretty cheap, pretty easy to find, and kind of taste like licorice. And those tend to ease up your stomach after a difficult meal or as part of a difficult meal. And of course, there's also tea. I'm not much of the herbal tea drinker. I like I'm kind of a tea snob actually, and I like the real fancy white and green teas, and those are often usually really helpful in aiding digestion as well. But if you really want to check some hardcore stuff out for your stomach, try what's called pu'er tea, P-U-E-H-R. It's definitely one of those things that you could say is an acquired taste. It kind of tastes like dirt, but a good pu'er is really good, especially if it's aged, and it can have this real complicated flavor. It's kind of like I don't know if you've ever tried what's it called? I'm blanking on the name. There's a real dark black Chinese tea that tastes basically like the inside of a chimney, and that's another one of the acquired tastes. Anyway, pu'er tea is also said to help aid digestion, so that's another way to combat it. Have a cup of pu'er and wash the dirt taste out of your mouth with a little licorice flavored fennel, and your tummy will be a-okay. The second thing that I wanted to talk about was living with an omni-significant other. It was interesting that you had mentioned that most of the omnis you've heard, or most of the vegans you heard from that live with an omni spouse or significant other are women. I was recently talking with some other vegans, and one of them commented about how she was noticing more and more it was actually males that were becoming vegan and their wives that were not. And I can speak on this a little bit because, as you probably know, my wife is not vegan. She's not even vegetarian yet at this point. However, she is probably about the most flexible wife in terms of eating habits. Get your mind out of the gutters. In terms of eating habits, she's extremely flexible. We never have any meat in the house. We never even really have any dairy or eggs in the house. And she loves trying all sorts of different foods. In fact, she likes flipping through vegan cookbooks as much as I do and trying out new recipes and everything. So I've definitely been blessed in that respect. She does still eat on very rare occasions. She'll eat meat when she's out, or she'll eat some seafood, or sometimes when her mom comes into town, she may eat a little more meat than usual. But she has been giving vegetarianism consideration, and I think it's probably something that she will come to eventually, but I want to make sure that it's something she comes to on her own. I want to be able to give her as much information as possible and support her in whatever she decides. But I know that, for me, back in the day, I remember someone mentioning PETA one time, and my response was, PETA? What have they done for me lately? And, pretty ignorant response, but thankfully, I eventually thought about it myself more, and I came to the decision on my own that, eating meat was wrong and factory farming is wrong, etc., etc. And I think veganism and vegetarianism is much more likely to stick when it's a decision that you come to yourself. Sure, I, play the little trick of leaving pretty much every vegetarian starter guide that we have in a different area of the house so that it's always sitting there for her or anyone else to read. But that is kind of as far as I go. I give the information and I try to be a positive influence, but I try not to be overwhelming or overbearing with it, because that can just push people the other way, as you well know. Just answer questions when they have them, and be a good ambassador for all of veganism worldwide. So that's what I wanted to contribute, just to give you my view on the whole omni spouse thing. For me, like I said, I've been blessed, and I've been lucky in having a spouse that's very supportive of me and my decisions. So I try to be with her as well, and I can imagine how difficult it might be for people who have fiercely omnivorous significant others who are not willing to try and who are belligerent when it comes to diet, and especially when it comes time to raise kids, and that whole issue comes up between people, between spouses, and it can be difficult, I'm sure, and I feel for those people, and just hope that love prevails. Anyway, thanks guys, take it easy.
Okay, so remember, we're recording this on Sunday, so we had no idea what that was about. Hope it was good.
Yeah.
Hey, how about some generic, that was really good?
Well, I'm sure it is, because it's Ryan.
Yeah, I know. Ryan.
Yeah. He has a lot of good stuff over at Veg Blog, so.
Absolutely, so you should go visit it. And, all All right, what do we need to do now? Now we need to talk about our
Chad.
interview. Yeah, our interview.
Yeah.
By the way, you hear some clanking, that clanky noise? That's the dog's tag hitting another. He's got a little tag that it's kind of a square, and on the front side it says "We'll work for treats." On the back side it has his name and phone number, in case he gets lost. And underneath that is his rabies tag, which just proves that he was vaccinated against rabies. Those two tags hitting together is what you always probably hear in the background as he shuffles around the house.
Yeah, he refuses to pick up his feet. He like shuffles.
It's just his way. So someone had written to us and said it sounds like you have a gallows there, or you have something like that. No, it's just a dog. So just a dog. But we have this interview with Chad that we did yesterday, and Chad has all kinds of interesting to talk about. We talked about the Shack 7, we talked about food fight, we talked about hunting accidents. So, anything you want to add about this?
Yeah, and like you did mention before Ryan's segment, that Chad also does graphic design, and he designed the cover for our book, which we love it. So
yeah, they do graphic design over 14littlemen.com. So yeah, good graphic design, good vegan junk food, all that stuff. So here's the interview with Chad. So on the line we've got Chad from Food Fight Grocery, Chad Miller, and Miller's your last name, right?
Yeah.
All right. Whew, I was getting a little worried there. But yeah, we have Chad on the line, and we're hoping to chat with Chad today, ask him a couple questions about Food Fight, about his stickers, about the Shack 7, about all kinds of different things. So I don't know. We'll just get rolling with Chad.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
So just start off some basics. How long ago did you start Food Fight?
We've been open just over 2 years. We just had our 2-year anniversary party a couple weeks ago. Actually, no, it's going to come more than that. I was like, yeah, at the end of first weekend of October was 2 years.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks.
It's great. One of the things I like about Food Fight is I like looking through all the stickers and buttons and all that stuff. I really like the I Love Hunting Accident sticker. But if I were to put that on my car up here, I'd be dead.
Yeah, there's we have one customer who repeatedly keeps putting it on his car, and someone keeps keying the shit out of his car and scraping that sticker off and his Food Fight stickers and anything else they can get a hold of, and his car's a mess. But he's on a kind of like a permanent sponsorship for stickers, so he just comes in and points out to his car and we give him a new sticker.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, a lot of people really hate that sticker, but some people like it, and that kind of makes me laugh. So.
Do you get a lot of shit?
Yeah, I kind of feel like I can. It's okay from like I made that one, and I grew up hunting, and I've spent around a lot of time around a lot of hunters, so I kind of feel like I know what it's about. Or at least most of the hunters I was around were kind of shitheads, so I feel like it's okay.
I don't
really think. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I always had the sense that hunting was about going out and drinking beer in the woods, you know?
Yeah, I just found out kind of recently that, because most of the time whenever I went hunting I was pretty small, and it's just come out now that, you know, I guess as you spend more time with your parents you get to hear all these stories of what really was happening when you were a kid, and it turned out like my dad's hunting buddy was like getting high on the top of the tree stand, and my dad was just like pounding vodka, and it wasn't as wholesome as I remember it being.
It seems a little dangerous to have a bunch of guys in the woods, you know, getting really fucked up and with guns. It's like,
yeah, but it's kind of funny to look back on now.
Absolutely. So do you get a lot of shit from other vegans about these stickers? I mean, I know some vegans are, the amount of shit that we get, some vegans are really touchy, you know, and they're worried. Do you get it a lot?
Not a lot. I mean, you get a lot of kind of, like they look kind of bummed out that we have that. Most people don't make too many comments to our face. I think people take it more serious than it's intended. Usually whenever people ask what we mean by it, we just kind of say more like accidents, like, you know, you make a pee-pee in your pants when you're up in the tree stand, or like, you know, you have an accident, you fall out and break your toe. Nothing serious, because we're all God's creatures, you know, and you don't want anyone to get killed or anything.
My favorite sticker is the poop 3 times a day sticker. That.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we made those up before we even opened the store. Just my wife, Eniko, who is the other half of the store, we were just kind of walking the dog and throwing around sticker ideas, but we didn't have any way to sell them. But we just kind of decided to make that, and the sticker printer gave us a really good deal to make were going to make like 100, and then they talked us into making 3,000.
Wow.
So we just had boxes for like a year and a half before we even decided to open the store, so I'm glad we finally have a way to sell them.
That's great.
Excellent.
Some space.
So speaking of the store, we've read on the Food Fight blog and things like that you occasionally have some pretty strange folks wandering into the store, and I was wondering if you could share maybe a few of your favorite kind of freaks wandering into the store stories.
Oh, let me see. When we first, let me explain that across the street from where we are, there's like a community mental health and drug rehab center. So that kind of steers a lot of people our way, like the methadone clinic, and it's just kind of loony around here sometimes. We had one guy when we first opened come in and come straight to the counter and asked if we carried artichoke hearts, and we didn't. So then he just started walking around the store pointing at everything and asking if that was artichoke hearts. Like he would pick up some jerky and go, "Is this artichoke hearts?" He would go around to like some pasta and ask if this was artichoke hearts, and we're like, "No, sorry, man, can't help you." And then, before he left, he came up to the counter and he picked up the pin pad for the credit card machine and asked if that was artichoke hearts. No, sorry, we just don't have them. And he's like, "Well, you really should, because artichoke hearts are the best." And just walked out. So, that was one of my favorites. And then, I don't know. I think I told you about the one guy who, right after your book came out and we had it on our shelf, he came in and stayed for, I swear, like 2 hours. I had customers coming in, like, asking me if I was okay, like trying to call me on the phone to keep me busy so I didn't have to talk to this guy. He was some crazy hippie guy from Southern California who was way too excited about our store. And at one point he came and he looked at your book and he's like, "Oh, Bob Torres, I didn't know he was vegan." Like you guys go way back or something, I don't know.
It could be, I knew a lot of hippies in college.
Yeah. But he was like 60. I don't think.
So do you often have to throw people out of the store?
Not often. There's only a couple times. It always ends up being like some dumbass white Rasta guy or something. This one white Rasta guy came in and like they bought a soda or something. His girlfriend bought a soda, and then he saw, I don't know if you've ever seen the Herbivore magazine, the Praise Satan sticker.
Yeah.
So he saw that and he's like, "Praise Satan, you need to be worshiping Jah." And we were like, "What?" And and he's like, "Jah, Rastafari, Bob Marley." And I'm like, "I don't listen to that crap." And he's like, "Well, you should. You listen to devil music," because we had, whatever, some kind of metal on in the background. And we're like, "Shut the fuck up. Get out here." And he starts walking around and he's like, "Well, don't listen to Bob Marley. Stop listening to Bob Marley." And then we just kept yelling at him to get out, and then he left. So that was that. That was pretty exciting.
I gotta say, I don't get... Sorry.
What's that?
I don't get the white Rasta thing.
Yeah, I don't know. They always seem to be the biggest pains in the ass, too. Because they never seem to be vegan. They just come in to tell you about why they're not. So,
nice.
I don't know. It's kind of, to me, white Rastas seem like a gay Christian. Like, what's the, like, it blows my mind.
Yeah, it is kind of mind-blowing. I mean, complete contradiction at the whole base of the thing,
Yeah.
Well, one of our other favorite parts of Food Fight is the amount of junk food that you have, because it's just amazing. So what is your favorite vegan junk food?
It's kind of all been my favorites at one point, but now I'm kind of sick of it and just want to eat rice and beans. We have this stuff from Australia, this nougat, pistachio macadamia nut nougat bars. They're pretty amazing, especially if you dip them in chocolate.
Oh man, that sounds incredible.
That's pretty great. And what else? Oh, these new things called Smackers. This company called Betty Lou's makes. They're kind of like peanut butter and almond butter patties, covered in chocolate.
Oh yeah, they're good.
With little Rice Crisps in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and jerky. I just eat jerky all the time.
We just bought like a case.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one of our favorites too.
Yeah, I never even ate much jerky when I ate meat, and then I'm surprised, but yeah, vegans would probably buy more jerky than non-vegans.
Yeah. So at your store, you're also involved in some various community things and fundraisers, and we noticed that you're involved now with a fundraiser for Shack 7. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
About the fundraiser or the Shack 7 issue?
Both, I suppose.
Shack 7, I don't know how many people are familiar with Huntington Life Sciences and the group Shack. Huntington Life Sciences basically is, I think it's the world's biggest animal testing lab. If you want to get your trucker hat tested on a bunny, you contract out to HLS, and they will in turn stick the hat in the rabbit's eyes or whatever. And Shack is a activist group kind of dedicated to shutting it down, and they do that by targeting HLS as well as its investors, and writing campaigns to companies that work with them. And a lot of people think it's a little harsh and too much direct action, but I don't know, we like it. But anyway, Shack 7 are some of the main core of the U.S. division of Shack, and they ran the website and did a lot of speaking on college campuses and stuff, and they're all being prosecuted under the Animal Enterprise Terrorism Act, which I believe is part of the Patriot Act somehow, and it basically separates crimes and protests against animal enterprises. It separates it from protesting Walmart or something else, and it federalizes it and makes it an official terrorist crime. And the Shack 7 are all people getting prosecuted under that, and then most of them are facing at least 20 years in federal prison for nothing more than typing on a website or speaking. Like none of them are being accused of any physical action or anything like that. So it's really more than an animal rights kind of issue. It's more just an attack on free speech and probably the future of protests in America. It could set a really scary precedent.
Yeah, it's completely fucked up.
Yeah, if you go to their website, shack7.com, I believe, you can read more about it, and there's links to other articles who can talk about it a lot better than I could. But I just got to know a few of those people, and they're just really good folks. And so we've done a couple of fundraiser things for them, and we have a benefit art auction coming up January 20th in Portland that we're doing with Herbivore and this new place called Merrimack, which is like a vegan-owned custom furniture shop. They're hosting it. And we're trying to get some kind of big-name celebrity art folk to donate, and just everyone to donate art stuff, and we're going to try to give them some living expense money and money to go towards a legal defense fund.
Nice.
January
I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's the same. That's January 20th. So anybody can contact the store through our website or whatever if they want to donate anything or help out. Excellent.
Well, we'll put a link up to your store and to all that, how to get in touch with you, because I think there's some folks out there who probably want to get involved in this. I have such a hard time wrapping my head around it, because it's like, some of these people are in so much shit just for simply putting up a website, and that's completely blows my mind. We're supposedly...
Yeah, and what is really infuriating to me is the amount of, the lack of support that these guys have gotten from the bigger animal rights community like PETA and HSUS. They just are so afraid to touch this issue because, the prosecution, the government is throwing the word terrorist at it, so no one wants to touch it. And it's really frustrating to see these guys who are really on the front lines of trying to make things better and just getting ignored and dropped from people who could really help them out. In particular, HSUS is pretty bad about it. The head guy, Wayne Pacelli, has done some pretty vocal public speaking out against Shack and anyone who does any kind of direct action. And that's been really frustrating to learn since getting involved in this whole thing.
Yeah, it is absolutely frustrating. I think in a lot of ways, the kind of more mainstream part of the movement will often chuck the more radical part of the movement to the side in order to kind of try to appeal to everybody. And I wonder what the sense of that is. I think any movement has to have a variety of fronts, to fight on.
I understand the official position of maybe not wanting to get involved, but there's also been some excessive, going over the out of their way to shit talk these guys, I think. And that part's really sad to me. Yeah, I mean, I understand the side where you can't, not necessarily just endorse, ALF actions if you're a big nonprofit working every day in Congress. But there seems like there could be a balance,
Absolutely. And I think also, I mean, it allows that kind of argument that these people are terrorists to stand unchallenged. And that's a problem.
Yeah.
Man. Well, we're happy to spread the word about that. And like I said, we'll put up some stuff on our site about it.
Yeah.
Hopefully maybe you can even get to interview one of the Shack people. I can help get you in touch. They're really good guys and girls that are involved in this, and they're going to get hung out to dry, it seems like.
Yeah, it seems like they're going to try to make an example of them. I mean, that's kind of what I'm reading into all this,
Yeah, hearing the stuff that's come out of... It was already declared a mistrial a few months ago and rescheduled for February. And, hearing some of the stuff that is getting allowed by the judge as evidence, is really mind-blowing. I mean, hopefully in the long run it'll make it easier to appeal. But it seems like they're pretty determined to put these folks in jail one way or the other.
Yeah, it's sad. Well, I guess we should probably move on to another kind of question to kind of finish this out.
I could go on about this forever.
Yeah, well, we hope to actually have a chance to talk to some of the folks that are involved with the Shack 7 and get them on the show. We really appreciate if you could hook us up with that. But well, anyway, we have a lot to kind of move on to another thing altogether. We have a lot of listeners out there who are not quite vegan. They're vegetarian. They're on the edge of going vegan, thinking about it, addicted to cheese, whatever. What would you tell them? What is the reason or a couple of reasons they should go vegan?
I think because it's just not hard anymore. If you're going at being vegetarian for reasons of animal cruelty, then it might seem a little difficult at first, but you're really just doing it half-assed. You got to go all the way. I was vegetarian for ethical reasons for probably like 10 or 12 years before I went vegan all the way, and I just know it takes that certain point in your head that really you got to connect and decide if you're going to follow through with your talk, And I think nowadays it's just so much easier than it's been in the past. Even if you're stuck out in the middle of nowhere, you can get fake meats and cheese and stuff like that at Walmart, or there's silk everywhere. It's almost a non-issue now. It just seems so easy that if you want to be somewhat consistent, especially if you're out there, trying to be an example to people of live a somewhat more cruelty-free life, you should just go for it.
Yeah, we live in the middle. Oh, sorry. We live in the middle of nowhere, and we can do it. So, it can't be that impossible.
Yeah, I know everyone doesn't live in Portland, but it's not hard anymore.
Yeah,
I think you guys are doing a good job of helping people deal with what I think is the more difficult part is dealing with when you don't have a community around you to help back up your decision, and you're constantly getting shit from your friends and family. That can be more difficult, and I can see that getting really tiresome if you don't have a community. But gotta stick through it and then move somewhere good.
Yeah, Portland sounds to us like it's just vegan mecca. It sounds incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty darn good. It's the best place I've lived. We moved out here from New York City, and New York definitely has more. It's just giant. It's got a million different things to eat. But I think if you were to be in New York or here and just flip a coin and go into a random restaurant, almost everywhere you go in Portland will have a vegan option. You don't have to explain what vegan is. People are pretty well educated here about the subject, so it's kind of just really easy to do here.
Oh, that sounds lovely. I mean, here, we can't go out to eat. There's nowhere for us to go out to eat where we live. It's like, if you go out, you get salad. The salad is covered in gravy. There's gravy on every goddamn thing around here. It's so frustrating.
Well, that's the way it should be, but it should be vegan gravy.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I'm very pro-gravy as a way of life. If I ever run for political office, it's going to be on a pro-gravy ticket.
You can start the vegan gravy party.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to add? Anything we didn't cover that you want to talk about?
If you're trying to get me to piss off a bunch of Christians, I don't know. I don't think I can do it this morning. We're an online business now. We have to keep those people happy.
Absolutely. Please don't.
Let's see. Oh, I got an email this morning. Someone we sent out an email to all our customers, tell them that they can pre-order dozens of vegan donuts. They're going to get delivered Monday. And someone wrote back and said, if we don't take their name off our mailing list, they're going to press charges. So we could be the next, Food Fight 2. We could get, we could be facing some serious time here if we don't. I was thinking of writing them back. Just like, no, there's nothing. But
press charges. What kind of charges would they press, I wonder?
I don't know. That would be cute.
And how come I'm not on your mailing list?
I don't know. You never signed up.
Well, what do you mean?
You don't want me to bug you about when someone brings a fresh thing of cheesecake into the store. That just drive you crazy.
Yeah,
it's true.
That would be really annoying.
Yeah.
Everyone should just move to Portland because we're trying to collect as many good people here as we can, and it's working pretty good. There's a lot of good stuff here.
Man.
So come visit, and then you can come sleep on our couch.
All right, we're going to take you up on that. Be careful.
Okay. All right.
All right, man. Well, if there's nothing else you want to add, any music suggestions for the show? You'd like to make publicly or for our listeners?
I was actually thinking about that last night. Like, I hate to admit, but I haven't listened to every one of your podcasts yet.
What?
So I'm not sure if you've covered some of the biggies. Like, have you played NBC Chicken Squawk?
Oh my God, no.
Okay, well, you know that song, right? Okay, I'll send it to you. That's like one of the first songs I ever heard in my life about animal rights.
All right.
And it's done with a sense of humor, and it's great. So yeah, I'll send that to you.
Cool. Well, we'd love to get some music.
Okay.
All right. Well, I know you got to open the store in a few minutes, so we'll let you roll. Thanks so much for being on.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Absolutely.
Yep. Thanks.
All right. See ya. Bye.
Bye. So that was our interview with Chad.
Yeah, so I want to thank you once again for taking the time to talk with us, and everyone should check out foodfightgrocery.com. They have a little bloggy thing, and they have lots of good products that you can order online.
The little bloggy thing is fun, too. Chad always has the best links.
He does.
Absolutely. Another thing that we talked about with Chad in the show you heard, we're right now trying to set up an interview with Josh Harper from the Shack 7. And we'll put links to the Shack 7 on our podcast site. But soon we will have an interview with Josh so we can kind of give you some more information on the Shack 7. It's a completely absurd situation, what's going on with them. And we think more attention needs to be drawn to it because it's just nuts.
Yeah, and it's not even... It doesn't have anything to do with property destruction at all. It's just a matter of free speech. And everyone who wants to speak out for animals and against the horrors that are being done to animals should be concerned about this, I think.
I completely agree. And also I think people should be concerned about the ways in which the mainstream groups have kind of gone hands off on this thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Just like Pete has done with us.
True.
Pete doesn't like us.
Well, I don't know.
I don't really know if they do or not, but they ordered a copy of our book they asked for a copy of our book thinking they might get it in their store, but I don't think they ever did.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
It's because we don't pimp PETA.
Nope, we don't.
But we shouldn't say anything bad.
No,
we don't have anything bad to say. So anyway, yeah, this is really a long show at this point.
It really is, and we thank you all for hanging in there for this long.
Well, yeah, man, we're jam-packing shows full of information from now on. And remember, coming up in the next couple of weeks, we've got an interview with Karen Davis from United Poultry Concerns, and you should go check out their website. She will be on the show. If you have questions for Karen, you should email them to us or go to our forum and leave. I'll start a thread over there of things we can ask Karen when she gets on the show. So we're going to have her on. We're going to try to get Josh Harper on. We've got other people lined up too. So we got all kinds of things coming down the pipe. We got all kinds of jam-packed cool shit for you.
Yes, and here comes the dog.
And here comes the dog to say goodbye.
Molly, say bye. Molly. Puppy.
He's just looking. You can't,
He's not like the cat. A lot of times you talk to the cat, he'll talk back to you, but...
Absolutely. So here comes the dog to say goodbye. Don't forget, we have forums over at forums.veganfreak.com. Podcasting, you're listening to that.
Yep, so you know that. Podcast.veganfreak.com. So in case we put a little picture up in case anybody wants to see.
Oh, yeah, people requested a picture. The other thing is that now we have lo-fi downloads. So if you have friends who want to listen to the show but don't want to download a huge file, we're now encoding the files at a very low bit rate. They sound like, us talking like this. But you can't really, it's not bad. You can hear what's going on. But they're good for people who have modems or dial-up. So we're doing that now by popular demand. That's about it. So give us a call, get on our voicemail, send us email.
Yep, give us comments.
Give us comments. It'd be very cool. We love to hear from you, and we really like doing the show. It's like one of the things I look forward to all week. So, anything else?
Nope. Thanks for hanging in there, and we'll see you next week.
Yep, see you next week. Bye-bye.